Hey everybody, it's Katrina back with a new Dreamlight Valley build. Today's build is in the Borderlands in Eternity Isle, and it is one that is actually kind of near and dear to my heart. If you know about me, you know that I spent a good portion of my adulthood living in Los Angeles, and right now the city is being devastated by horrible fires that are tearing apart major generational homes, and so I wanted to create a video to kind of send a love letter to my former place of residence and all of my friends there. And there are links in the description below to funds that will help out locals, as well as GoFundMe's for personal friends who have lost their generational homes in the fires. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out this build. So this is in the Borderlands, and if I'm being honest, it's been really hard for me to find inspiration to build in Eternity Isle, but this came to me recently and I'm really proud of the way it's kind of shaped up. So this is my Hollywood Boulevard build. It is obviously not an exact duplicate of Hollywood Boulevard, but if you know about me, you know that I lived very, very close to this when I did live in Los Angeles. My first just me apartment, I had a little one bedroom right off of Sunset Boulevard, which is about 5 minutes away from Hollywood Boulevard, and I loved that place, and it really was a place where I came into my own, and I really learned about myself. And so this is kind of a little version of the boulevard in Dreamlight Valley, and I hope you like it. Okay, so here we are. It's sunset on Hollywood Boulevard in Dreamlight Valley, and I wanted to start out with like the glitz, the glam, the old Hollywood kind of look to it that's still there on the boulevard today. So naturally I chose these very art deco-y, this arch that came with the last big star path. So I put that right at the front to kind of tell you exactly where you are, and just in case there was any confusion, the Tower of Terror is right in front. I have a couple of these actually, so there's one in like my spooky area, but there's also one here just because it is that beautiful old Hollywood architecture, and at ground level it really does fit. And yeah, so you have the Hollywood Tower here, but when you turn this way, you also have the beauty of the Chez Remy restaurant. Gosh, everyone's hanging out here today. So I included the Ratatouille fountain here, as well as some of the sparkling benches. If you've ever been to Hollywood Boulevard and you look down at the pavement, there's glitter in the pavement, and it was one of the first things to ever stand out to me when I moved there. So there are a combination of these benches and the rusted benches, because I wanted to kind of emulate that sparkle that I saw in the pavement on Hollywood Boulevard. So Chez Remy is right here, and it has this little back patio area. I wanted to kind of put together a little dining spot, as many folks do. So you have a little bench here where you can wait for your reservation, and then there's also a check-in table thingy where you can check in for your meal for the day. I wanted to put a lot of florals back here, but I also wanted to kind of stick with the theming of the Borderlands. So while I was adding in a lot of the green, I also chose some of the native flowers that kind of grow here and created some pots out of those. We also have the cacti plots there that I thought were really cute. Then there's a little music area for a musician to come play for a romantic dinner, and I think this came out really nice. I'm a really big fan of the range of motion where you can kind of like make these small changes in the way the seats are. So it's almost like somebody was just sitting there and they just left or something. So yeah, so we have a lot of the wrought iron pieces that you can now build thanks to the missions from Remy. And yeah, just a small, simple dining area. So yeah, you head over this way and you have a little bit more of the boulevard. First up, you'll turn this way and see Scrooge's. I thought this was just, a natural piece for this area. Again, more of the benches and more plants that kind of seem more on like the tropical, like Southern California side. So some of these benches, like I said, are the rusted benches. I thought they looked really nice on the side of the boulevard, so you see a lot of them here. Jafar's down farther down the way. He was just sitting on one. And then of course you have Oswald's. This placement is very intentional because if you're heading down Hollywood Boulevard, one of the big set pieces there is the Hyperion Theater, and that's the theater that Disney actually owns on the boulevard. So that's where a lot of the premieres for Disney movies, Star Wars movies, Marvel movies, when they occur in Hollywood, that is where they happen. So Oswald's kind of represents that area. And that theater actually does mean a lot to me because I have been very lucky to go to a number of Star Wars and Disney releases at that theater, premieres at that theater, as well as normal releases. So back here I parked Oswald's car, as well as the Monsters Inc. laugh canisters. They just seemed very appropriate for the more industrial feel that Hollywood Boulevard sort of has. I've always kind of been fascinated with the fact that some pieces in Hollywood Boulevard are sort of trapped in time. They're from that era of like the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, where Hollywood really had its rise, and we had movie stars and the Art Deco themes. And it's very interesting because what the combination of like industrial and Art Deco can be a little jarring, but once you've lived there for a really long time, it's just kind of charming. Or maybe I'm just feeling nostalgic, I don't know. So over here is the Performance Rock stage. This again came with another star path that happened late last year. I thought this build would be really cool here. It's just a neat little view of the mountains, and I wanted to kind of give that rock and roll edge. And if we're getting super technical, the Hard Rock Cafe is also on this side of Hollywood Boulevard. So this is kind of like my representation of where the Hard Rock would be, right near Hollywood and the Highland. And originally I was gonna sort of build a shopping center here, but I'm just kind of letting Scrooge's represent that, because trying to build Hollywood and Highland here is just impossible right now. So this is kind of my representation of the Hard Rock and what it means. It's just a really cool rock stage, great opportunity to use that camera, gather the villagers, and have a really epic photo. Over here is Pizza Planet. This is just kind of a miscellaneous set piece. I thought it would be really cool. There are a lot of really neat restaurants along Hollywood Boulevard that are mainly there for tourists. So I thought Pizza Planet kind of represented that really well. And there are alleyways in between these buildings. Obviously Oswald parked his car over here because who cares, he lives there. And then I wanted to kind of add again the glitz, the glamour, the glow. So that is why I put those particular floral pieces there. So yeah, you head over this way and you've got Flo's V8 Cafe. I actually am pretty proud of this part of the build. I did want to have a lot of asphalt in this build, so I moved Flo's from my main valley to over here. Also because this particular, the gas station part of Flo's is one of the things you can only build in Eternity Isle, so I wanted to bring it back home. I've only been able to build one of these because it's really hard to get all the materials you need to build this gas station area. So a few people are parked here right now. You've got Stitch's aircraft here just gassing up, I guess. The Elasticycle is here, and then the motorcycle from Elemental. I also thought the Monsters Inc. snack machines would be really, really cool here. So they're here too. And then we've got the billboard from the rock and roll star path, so that also kind of frames it. And then to sort of just finish framing this like set piece, I put Buzz's RV back here. It sort of closes out the area for us, and then there's also like a little instant meal spot here. One day when I have time, I will build out the interior of Flo's to the best of my ability. One of my good friends used to work at the Flo's V8 Cafe in Disney's California Adventure, so I kind of want to, make a little dedication to them there. And then, of course, because we don't have a Hollywood sign in this game, I also put in the water tower from Hollywood Studios. It's just such a cool, iconic set piece, and I thought it really kind of summed up and closed out this area really well. So, of course, there's some of the flora that I chose for this area is stuff that's like native to it, like these big palm trees and pine trees. There are also a lot of sunlit plateau trees that I added here, just because I like the darker look for it than like the other palm trees that we get in the valley. And then of course a lot of cacti, and then these fan plants were also really cool. Like technically they're for the wild tangle, but I thought they were great for this area. So yeah, I'm really proud of this build, and it does like have a special place in my heart because of my time in Los Angeles. So if you've been looking for resources to help out with the fires in Los Angeles, again, they are down in the description of this video, along with a GoFundMe for my friend Jordan. His family unfortunately lost their entire home in the Altadena fire, and so they're trying to raise money back to pay off the mortgage and just generally make life a lot easier for them. So if you have the time, have the resources, or at least have a moment to share it, please check out the link down in the description box below, and show some love to all of these people who have just endured so much this month. The city does mean a lot to me, and it's very funny because I used to like really hate LA. I'm not going to rewrite history here. When I first moved to LA, I had lived on the East Coast my whole life, and it was such a culture shock for me. But spending a decade there and learning about this place and meeting all of the people there, it's just such a special place. LA is powered by people, working people, everyday people. It's, there's of course the 1% of celebrities and rich folks that live there, but the folks that really make this city run live in apartments, and they live in houses that their families have had for generations. And it is a city full of immigrants and hardworking people who make it the magical place that it is. Again, if you've got time and resources, please do share and donate to the funds in the description box below. And thank you so much for tuning in. May the force be with y'all. See you later. Bye.